Good morning, Mrs. Sterling. Welcome to Porta Solutions.
Good morning, Mrs. Grula. Thank you for having me today.
Please, have a seat.
Thank you very much.
Before we begin, let me explain a little about Porta Solutions. We specialize in training teachers and language experts with a strong knowledge in linguistics and sociolinguistics.
It sounds amazing. I'm very excited to be here.
Excellent. Today's interview will focus mainly on sociolinguistics and its applications in real life and education.
Perfect. I'm ready.
Great. Let's begin with a simple question. Okay, first question. How would you define sociolinguistics?
Okay, basically, sociolinguistics studies the relationship between language and society. It analyzes how people change the way they speak depending on social factors like class, education, occupation, context, or even the person they are talking to.
Very good. Could you give me an everyday example?
Yeah, sure. Most of people speak differently with friends or with a professor or during a job interview. For example, someone may use slang with friends, but more formal language in professional situations.
Exactly. That change is not random. It reflects social expectations and communication goals.
Yeah, and sociolinguistics try to explain why those changes happen.
Excellent answer. That concept is fundamental for language teachers because students belong to different speech communities.
Exactly. Teachers need to understand linguistic diversity instead of judging students for speaking differently.
Okay, Mrs. Sterling. Now let's move to another topic. What is a speech community?
Okay, basically, a speech community is a group of people who share norms and expectations about language use.
Correct. And what about sociolex?
Yeah, sociolects are varieties of language influenced mainly by social class, education, and occupation instead of geography.
Good. Can you please connect this idea to William's Labov study?
Yes, and Labov studied employees in New York department stores and analyzed how they pronounce the R sound in expression like workflow.
Okay, and what did he discover?
Yeah, he discovered that words in higher studies stores pronounce the R more frequently because it was associated with prestige and higher social status.
Exactly. The pronunciation became a social marker.
Exactly. It shows how pronunciation can reflect social identity and class.
Wonderful. That study became one of the most important examples in social linguistics. Okay, now let's continue with the question number 3. Mrs. Sterling, could you please explain over prestige and cover prestige?
Sure. Over prestige happens when people use the standard form of language to gain social approval or show upward mobility.
That's correct. Uncovered prestige?
Cover prestige is when people keep non-standard forms to show loyalty and solidarity with their social group.
Excellent. Now, what is style shifting?
Style shifting is when the speaker changes their language depending on the context or situation.
Could you please provide an example?
A student may speak casually with friends, but use more formal language during our presentation, for example.
Exactly. Now, let me ask you something more specific. What is convergence?
Convergence is when someone intentionally speaks more differently from another person to show distance or a different identity, I reckon.
Not exactly. That is actually divergence.
Alright, you're correct. Yeah, sorry.
Convergence means adapting your speech to become more similar to the other person and reduce the social distance.
Yeah, thank you for the correction. The divergence is when speakers intentionally move away from another person's style to emphasize identity differences.
Exactly, and both are important communication strategies in social interaction.
I completely agree.
Very good. Okay, Mrs. Sterling, now for the final question, let's discuss a little about language variation. In linguistics, what is a register?
A register is a language variety associated with a specific context or field, like legal, medical, or religious language.
Very good. And what about the jargon?
Okay, and jargon is especially vocabulary used by professionals with a certain field. It helps show expertise and creates proof identity.
Exactly. What about the slang?
Slang is an informal language commonly used by younger groups or social communities to express identity and solidarity.
Very good answer. I have a specific question for you. Why does slang change so quickly?
Because once slang becomes too common, it loses its original social function, so groups create new expressions.
Very interesting answer. Finally, can you explain me one feature of the African American Vernacular English, or AAVE?
Yeah, sure. One important feature is habitual be. For example, she working means she's working right now, but she be working means she works regularly or habitually.
Excellent explanation.
Thank you.
And why is it important to study dialects like AAVE?
Because many people think they are incorrect English when in really they are systematic and rule-governed dialects.
Exactly. Linguistics teaches us that no dialect is inherently better or worse than any other.
Only that society gives different levels of prestige to different varieties.
Excellent, that's correct. Well, Mrs. Sterling, I must say I'm impressed with your knowledge of sociolinguistics.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brula. I really enjoyed this interview.
Your understanding of language variation, prestige, and speech communities will make you a strong candidate for Porta solutions.
Yeah, that means a lot to me.
We will contact you soon with the final decision, okay?
Perfect. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you for coming. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mrs.